How's it going, okay?
Pretty good.
Mr. Who?
How is it going? How's it hanging? As the young people say nowadays.
I'm tired.
I'm tired. Yeah, I woke up yesterday. I was actually feeling pretty good. Today when I woke up, I was like, no, this is so early. I also didn't sleep super well, but I woke up today and I'm like, I do not want to be here, but I actually do want to be here because it's second period, my favorite period to teach. Who doesn't love second period? So
Yeah, we're the
fun.
best period.
Obviously, definitely. That's why I'm so excited. And I totally did not consider calling in sick today. Don't even worry. I would never even consider such a thing.
Don't worry,
Collins,
Mr. Who. I would never worry.
uh, if you thought about if you realized some of the things I've thought about to be lazy, you would question my ability to teach. But you would never do that because I would
Nope,
never do that.
never.
I'm so perfect, and I am just wow. You are so lucky to have me. Okay, hello everyone. We were just talking about how excited I am to teach today. I mean, how excited we all are to learn. So today we are gonna. Today we're not really gonna do any instruction because, well, we need to ease into it. What I instead thought we would do, I think we would do. I thought we would do a little bit of a welcome back, a little bit of a recap, and then a little bit of stuff to move forward with. So to start off with, what I thought we would do would be fun, would be to within your Discord groups say hi to everyone, and then I want you to sort of share any or all of the following questions here. I've written out 3 questions here. The first question here is, what was the dumbest thing you did over winter break? So I realize that this doesn't apply to everyone because your goal is to not do something dumb. But I did something dumb because what I did is I had a water bottle like this, and then I like spilled it, like I like toppled it over on accident, and then it spilled water over like my really nice mouse. And so because generally when you spill water into something that's wet, you want to stick it in rice or you dry it out. Like if you drop your phone in the toilet, you're supposed to stick it in rice. However, because I'm in let's just say, and I'm kind of an idiot, I kept trying to turn it on and off to see if it would magically work. This is what happens when when your first response is panic instead of rationality. And so what I ended up doing is I ended up sort of breaking it even worse. So, and I should know better because I'm a physics teacher and I should know that water and electricity don't mix. But unfortunately, I am not as qualified as you think I am. So I ended up ruining my really nice mouse in multiple ways. So that was the dumbest thing I did over winter break. Hopefully, you did not do anything dumb. Hopefully, you did something. You were very smart. But if you did do something dumb, feel free to share it because I think something dumb is quite fun a lot of the times. The next thing I want to share is to share the coolest thing you did over winter break. Now, I realize that we're all in COVID and everyone says I didn't do anything cool. But for me, my cool thing to do was I installed the McDonald's app for the first time because there were hella deals over, because McDonald's were doing like the free Big Macs and stuff over winter break. And I got hella hooked. There was like, I think one day I got my free McChicken sandwich if you download the McDonald's. 'Cause now I just feel like I'm just like sponsoring, I'm just like a corporate chill and I'm sponsoring McDonald's here. This video is not sponsored, by the way. I'm not sponsored by McDonald's at all. I just installed the McDonald's app because they were doing hella deals. But I got a half price McFlurry, and I got like my free McChicken. Again, I'm not sponsored by McDonald's, but I just thought it would be really fun. And now I'm hooked on Mickey D's. Also, as a teacher, I should be telling you that McDonald's is unhealthy and you shouldn't eat McDonald's. But I'm also a human being and I like my McDonald's. So that was the coolest thing I did on break. Also, I went on Craigslist and I got a water cooler for my computer. That was pretty cool too. I haven't scoured Craigslist in a while, but that was pretty clutch. So Craigslist, super cool. What did I do that I've been finally putting on for forever? There's a few things I did. I had like, my car, I had the maintenance on light on for way too long. So I finally got that done. I had to get new tires too, which is very boring and very expensive. And I also had to do a bunch of other boring teacher stuff. I also listened to both of T Swift's new albums. Very good. They were recommended to me. I finally listened to both of them. They were actually both very good. I would recommend it. So those are the 3 things I did over winter break that I thought I would share. So within your Discord groups, share these any or all of these 3 questions, and then we'll come back in maybe 15, 20 minutes and to move on. But for now, I thought we would do something a little bit more fun. I said in the Zoom chat. It should say in your Discord groups. Okay, we'll take 15, 20 minutes and then we will come back and move on to bigger and better things. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you all had a chance to share a little bit about your winter break. We're going to move on to no longer winter break. We're going to move on to school, some school stuff. So, what I want to do first is I first want to recap the last semester real quick. So, overall, I think everyone did really well. I think everyone maybe even did too well. That can be an issue because, that's because, college professors, a lot of college professors you will find take pride in how low their test scores are. Um, in general, like it's very reasonable to have like a 40 or 50% class average. I remember I had one college professor when one time a test, the class average was like a 90, and he was like, that's way too high. And then the final, he made it brutally hard. And the average was definitely not a 90 there. So that was my experience with college. So now I'm kind of considering that right now because I think people are doing too well. So maybe I should really just, make it really hard and just ruin everyone's self-esteem. I think, because I'm thinking that's what I should do in the
No.
future. No, if you say no, that encourages me even more. Uh, no, but I'm kidding. Everyone did really well. I'm very happy with that. So don't worry. You'll have plenty of chances to suffer later on. But for now, you can enjoy your wonderful physics class. So the time for, as Bain would say, the time for pain comes later. Um, okay, so that was for that. Also, in general, I actually think there was a lot of brilliance. I think a lot of people were actually did some really good work. I'm really impressed. And a lot of people were actually very brilliant as during in the waning moments of the semester. What I do have to say, it was a little bit too much last minute brilliance. I think the goal for this semester is let's to try to keep it a little bit more consistent. But overall, I actually do like where everyone is at. My goal, and I think as well as everyone else's goal, should be to try to maintain that throughout the whole semester. We all know that your best essays come when you start an hour before it's due. But I think let's not go quite that far. Let's make it a little bit more. Let's not leave it so much up to chance. So that's what we'll be working on this year. Overall, I think group work I've seen is very promising. I want to continue this into the semester, but I do know that it's very imperfect, and I know that it can be very challenging as well. So what I want to say is that if you want to work individually, if you feel like groups aren't working for you, or if you would prefer to switch groups because you want to meet someone new, or you feel like you want to try working with a different group of people, you can let me know, and I will make those changes as necessary. But if everything you feel like everything is fine, then that's okay too. Don't fix what ain't broken. So that's for that. Another thing is that this is a quote from not my AP Con teachers, but one of the AP Con teachers in my high school. He was like almost 80 at this point, I think. He's tenured, about to retire. So this is his motto: the less I teach, the more they learn. And this is in context. He was like at some like teacher board meeting or something, and this is the line he opened with. So I think that I think it's hilarious. I don't think that it's I think that I sort of get what he's trying to imply. His class was notorious for you never did anything in the class, you never learned anything in the class. So the class was notorious for that. My goal is to maybe not be quite as notorious, but I do like the overall gist of it, which is that for not so much for me to tell you what to know, but for you to learn it yourself and for you to figure it yourself. So, which is, I know it's super frustrating for a lot of people because it's like a big change of pace. I think traditionally what happens is that with the teachers is we just tell you what to know and say, hey, you know this, and I'm going to tell you this. And in this class, I think we've probably figured out this point. I don't like doing that. I prefer having you figure things out on your own and you do things, which is super frustrating for a lot of people. But that's the sort of the point. It's a different style of learning where it's a lot more you driven, and then that could be very challenging. My goal this year is to make it a little bit less frustrating, but at the same time even more frustrating. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. It'll be interesting. Overall, some keys to success. I think the major key to success for people is starting somewhere. And by starting somewhere, I mean literally anywhere. It really doesn't matter, because what is really important is making an attempt at a solution, and then learning from that, and then asking questions from that. I think the hardest part, I think, is starting somewhere, is to know it. And I think that's something what I want to encourage is just start somewhere. Even if you feel like it's wrong, it's good to just start somewhere and then try something and then try to ask questions later. I really don't care about it being right or wrong. I really like seeing people just try things out. I think that's very important, and I want to encourage that. And I think that when as people were figuring out just how to just start anywhere, I think that I saw a lot of good progress and good results from that. So that's what I want to encourage this semester is just start somewhere. If you feel like you don't know how to start, just start somewhere. Start with writing down an equation, picking something, having an idea, maybe just writing down what you think it's asking for. Just starting somewhere, I think, is very important. And I think that's a big part of this class is just figuring out how to start. Um, and as a continuing off of that, some new things this semester. So in terms of asking for help, there's sort of two kinds of people who like asking for help and people who don't like asking for help. I fall into the second category where I don't like asking for help. But for those of you who like asking for help, my goal is to be even less helpful than last semester, which is going to be, you will hate me for this. Not that you don't already, but you definitely will hate me for this. So what I'm planning on doing this year, what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to potentially start redirecting your questions to other groups and having them answer or attempt to answer your questions if I feel like they are capable of doing so, or if I feel like they would benefit or you would benefit from them trying to answer your questions. I think this is important because I think a huge part of learning is when you answer someone else's questions or when you ask questions, it reinforces your own learning. And I think this is like a good, you learn something once, and then when you explain it and have someone else explain it to you, you learn it again a second time. So I think this is something that I want to encourage more, and I'm going to start, doing this a little bit more. Is I'm going to say, hey, why don't you ask group one? I think they can try to answer it for you. And so that way they'll at least, so that way you'll at least have a chance to, see what another group is saying. I think this is also good for a different reason because it also means that a lot of them, because I'm only one person, so I can't answer everyone's questions at once. So if I encourage you to ask other groups, you don't have to wait for me to, answer your question. You can get some help from other people. I mean, also you realize that other people, they are a lot more generous with help than I am. So, if you are very frustrated with me answering your question, you should definitely ask other people because they will be a lot less frustrating. So that's another reason why I encourage it. But if you feel like you asked another group and you feel like you still don't quite get it, you feel like you're still a little stuck, then of course I will still answer your question. So don't worry, I won't leave you totally hanging. But I do want to encourage you to work with other groups. So that's what I'm going to be doing this semester. Doing a little bit of that. But I think it's actually a good thing. I think it's actually a good thing. And I think that you'll definitely benefit. Everyone will benefit from this. So I think that's a good thing. What I'm also going to start doing a little bit this semester is I'm going to start making you debug. So debug is a programming term, but basically just means finding your own mistakes, finding your own problems. And so I think making is a strong word. I think it's more going to be, I'm going to be more showing you and teaching you how to figure out your own mistakes, because that's a huge part of problem solving, huge part of life, and a huge problem, stuff is knowing how to start, which we did last semester, and starting to figure out your own mistakes and answering your own questions. So that's what I'm going to be doing this semester as well. Is that if you have a question or feel like you want, you're saying you start asking like, is this right? I'm going to start, showing you how you can check your own answers, see how you can guess it, how you see I can double check it. And so that's what I want to do this semester. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more of that. And the second category of people, this is for people like me. So for people like me who never ask questions and always say I'm good. So to give you a bit of context, I hate asking questions. Like it is physically impossible to be worse at asking for questions than I am. Like if you don't believe me, like what I will do, like when I was, even recently, what I'll do is let's say I guarantee this has happened to you plenty of times. But if you're going to a store, let's say you need to find something, like, I don't know, maybe you need to find like a specific, very specific thing. And let's say you're at a store and you can't find it, right? Usually what you do is you ask a store attendant, right? So I don't do that because I guess asking for help. So what'll happen is I'll wander around the store for like 2 hours trying to figure this out. Then I'll go online and I'll try to go on the website and try to find where it is within the store online instead of just asking for someone for help. So I'm really bad at this. So I've worked a lot of recently to try to get better at this. And so that's what I'm going to be doing as well for all of you who are asking questions, who don't like asking questions. I'm going to start making you ask me some questions. I think it's a very good habit to be able to ask questions if you're comfortable with that. So I will start making you ask me some questions. If you feel like you're always if you always feel like, even if you feel like you get everything and you don't have any questions, I might make you ask questions for me anyways. So I think it's just a good practice. So that's what I'm doing for that. So everyone is going to be benefiting from one or the other. Another thing I'll be planning on doing, this one's a little bit more tangible, weekly participation survey. So last semester, as you know, I never really did any asynchronous assignments because, well, yeah. So this semester, this won't really be an assignment. It'll just be more of a survey that I'll use for asynchronous participation. But the main reason why I want to do this is I want to keep everyone on track throughout the semester. So I think this is a good way for you to sort of, share with me how you're doing. So in terms of where are you in terms of your assignments, where are you in terms of your understanding, how is your group functioning. So it's a good way for me to get a gauge of where everyone is at, a way for you to see where you're at. And it'll be due every Wednesday, and the same link will be used every time. It's currently on Canvas. You don't need to do it for this week because we're not going to be learning anything this week. We aren't going to be learning anything today. We will be learning stuff on Friday, pardon me. But that's sort of what I have to say about that. So it's really helpful. I think it'll be really helpful just to keep everyone consistent here. Yeah, that's one thing I want to emphasize this semester is consistency. I think that, are we supposed to see slides? Yes, you are supposed to see slides. That is very unfortunate. That is what happens when you are not as, there we go. That is what happens when you are not as confident as you should be. Okay, so yes, I do want to keep everyone on track to the semester and try to encourage consistency, keep people from falling behind. So that's sort of the goal for this year. Okay, so that's for that. It'll be due every Wednesday. Yeah. Okay. Another thing we'll be doing is I'll be introducing some easier introductory assignments. So basically, these are just going to be like learning assignments that are going to be easier, give you a better idea of how to start things. It's just like, it's like a building block, essentially. Basically, last year, I know I threw a lot of you into the fire, which I like, and I will still do. But I think this year, this semester, I'm going to give you a little bit more of a foundation to work with, so that way you don't feel like you are totally going to die and be and in this class. So give you a little bit more of a foundation to work with. In terms of grading, I'm going to give you, for these assignments, and you can earn, so if you know, I grade things on a standards, I was using standards-based grading. So I have different concepts that I grade you on. And basically, I grade you on a scale from like 1 to 4 in terms of how well I think you understand it. So with these introductory assignments, it's like you can earn up to an approaching proficiency, so earn up to 2 points on them. So it's like a way of, it's like a buffer essentially, like a floor. So basically the idea is that, if you're struggling with the harder assignments, if you do the introductory assignment, you'll still be able to show that you understand the standard, and you'll still be able to, get some points, show that you know some of that standard. So that way you won't really have to deal with any zeros in your grade book. Because you can at least, that way you can still show me that you know something. Whereas bigger projects will be covering the same standard, these introductory assignments, but you can earn up to a mastery for each standard, which is 4 points. So the bigger assignments are unchanged. This is just basically like an easier entry point, like a floor, at the very minimum, you should at least be able to earn a 2 on each standard. So it's like a cushion. It should help everyone here. And so it help everyone grade-wise and understanding-wise and confidence-wise. And so if you feel overwhelmed and completely lost, you'll still be able to show that you understand some of the standard. So it's a cushion. It'll help. Yeah. So that's for that, and it'll just be like a nice introduction for things. So those are some of the things I had planned for the last semester, and a short recap of last semester. Overall, things are going to be mostly the same because I don't. But what I do want to give you a chance to do is within your groups, and I go around and try to compile as much information as I can. I want you to try to spend some time talking to your groups, some things that went well or you liked the last semester in this class or in all of your other classes. If you didn't like anything in this class, that's okay. I respect that. You don't have to like things in this class. I would like to know so that way I can improve. I'm not I appreciate any sort of criticism and constructive criticism. So I just want you to know that if you didn't like anything in this class, it helps me if you let me know, and I'll try to make things better.
So I do want to spend some time talking about things that went well and things you didn't go so well, or things you want changed or implemented this semester. Across this class and across all of your classes. I'll try to take everyone's feedback and try to figure out how to incorporate it for this semester. And so this is just a way for me to sort of have some ideas of what I should be targeting this semester. So that we'll spend the rest of class talking about these things, because I do want to go around and be able to chat with every group and see what everyone has to say. So we'll spend some time talking about this. And if you, yeah, so we'll take, maybe 20, 25 minutes to figure this out. And then I'll go around and see how every group is doing and see what everyone has to say. So yeah, I'll start going around about now. Okay, so I think I was able to talk to everyone. I know I missed a couple of people, so I'm very sorry about that. Timing is difficult. So that will be it for today. We didn't do any instruction, and there will be no asynchronous assignment on Wednesday. We will start instruction on Friday. We will start a new unit. There will be a lot more structure this unit, so I think most of you will be very pleased with that. We'll have more structure before we move into the less structured things. So Friday will be the first time, will be the first day of new instruction. Other than that, you really don't have anything to do until then. So just enjoy, a few days of relaxation before the grind begins again. Other than that, I will see you all on Friday and have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Mr. Who.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I have a very quick question, sir.
Go ahead.
Newton laws of motion, force and motion graphic organizer. It says like due today at 11 a.m.
No, I thought I changed it. I guess I didn't. I was sort of. Let me change that. It should be due at the end of next period. Next time we meet.
Okay.
It was. I was sort of expecting when I was initially thinking that we would be able to start covering it today, but based on first period, we wouldn't. So let me change that. It'll be due
Alright.
Thursday, Friday. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Have a nice one.
Okay. Thank you.
See you next time. And Wednesday we don't have anything, right?
Yep. Yep. Mhm.
All right. See ya.
Hello.
Hi, Tess. How are you doing?
Good. So you never got to our group, and we had a
Oh
list.
yes, I'm really sorry. I tried to talk to everyone, but it was, yeah. Yes, I'm sure you have a lot of opinions for me, so please let me know. What are your
Yeah.
opinions?
This is okay. So this is the list that we came up with. So
Okay.
I'm the spokesperson from our group, because I got nothing else better to do. So basically, we were feeling like so first of all, we were feeling like the amount of the amount of information that we have learned does not seem like. So I want to take for example, some of us want to take AP physics next year, and I'm a little concerned that the amount of formulas and stuff that I'm learning would not be sufficient to prepare me to go into AP next year. So that was just something that maybe magically I'm learning more than I'm aware of. But the amount that I've actually I can definitively say that I've learned that is specifically physics related does not seem like enough information for an entire semester. So maybe there's a magic going on behind the scenes, but it feels like this pace of which we're learning information is a bit slow. Something else that would be is we would like to have you said structured, so I'm sure this is happening some notes. If we're learning a new formula, doesn't even need to be a structured note shell. Just hey, this is a formula you should write down, so we can have it in a note page or something, as opposed to half a dozen sticky notes laying around the room, or old assignment pages that you have to flip back through. And then explaining generally how formulas are supposed to be used.
Yeah.
A lot of formulas I know how to use of the 4 formulas we learned last semester. I know 2 of them. I can apply and consistently use 2 of them. But the other 2, I legitimately don't know when the appropriate time would be to use them. So the 2 times that it popped up where we were supposed to use one of the other 2, I was incredibly lost because it kind of didn't even register to me that I could use that for that purpose. And obviously if you look at the variables and think about it critically, you can do that, but that's something where I feel like you want us to learn on our own, yes, but I feel like we should know generally the general uses for the formulas that we are learning. On that same note, we all decided that we would like a drill and kill, some form of drill and kill.
You mean rinse and repeat?
Yeah,
only
maybe 5 problems, 5, maybe less, but some form of homework assignment where there's 4 or 5 word problems. Once it doesn't even have to be a lot, just occasionally, once the day of the notes or something, there's some form of drill and kill, just so you can get we can get a feel of how to use the formulas in super straightforward, bland ways.
Yeah.
And then we can do our projects. Because like if we don't do the drill and kill and like the how formulas are used, it's kind of feeling like a bit throwing us in the deep end. Like it's trying to like you're trying to teach us how to like lifeguard and we don't know how to swim. So it'd be easier if we like learned how to like
I've
use
heard that
the
metaphor
formulas, like,
because in my class. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, super basically, with like super basic drill and kill in these notes, just so we have that basis. Because I think these projects are like very important and about what physics is about. But I do think that basis in whatever we're learning would be advantageous.
Mhm.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think I have plans to alleviate most of your concerns in terms of drill and kill, in terms of structured notes and lessons and formulas and stuff. I think I have plans to make things more clear and give you more preparation for those. So I have plans for that. In terms of AP Physics next year, here's what I will. Here's what I can tell you. I think in Mr. Vanderway's class, I've talked to him quite a bit. He only really ever covers mechanics and APC, and we will cover all of mechanics this year. So I know our first semester was a little slow. This semester will definitely be a lot faster. So I'm well aware of that. Another thing I have to say is that APC is actually, like I took it as a first year course. It's very takeable as a first year course. So the reality is it's more of a calculus course than it is a physics course. Like you will see some of the stuff that we're doing right now in there again, but more often than not, you will have like new formulas and you'll be deriving new things. Like I sort of just gave you the acceleration stuff. You'll probably end up deriving it in APC physics anyways. You'll have other formula you'll end up be deriving. So the reality is like a lot of the stuff you're learning right now will sort of be irrelevant next year because you'll just do it in calculus. So that's what I can tell you. Like the most important thing you can take away here is give you a conceptual understanding of what these things should generally look like and what the formula should generally look like and how you should be generally doing things. But in terms of any sort of specifics, everything will just be completely different next year. Like that class, APC, will be more similar to BC Calc than it will be to this class.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's from my experience as someone who is teaching physics right now and someone who took APC in high school. That's my experience. So I think you'll be, as long as you feel comfortable with calculus, you'll be fine within the class because that calculus is more important than the physics we're learning right now, which is weird as a physics teacher to say.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Awesome. I will see you Friday then.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Stay safe. Have a good rest of your week till then.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.